Hare Krishna. Welcome back to our Swadhyaya online reading retreat labs. So we have started a series you might be knowing, Power of SAP, the gateway to spirituality. So this is SAP refers to as usual Sambandha, Abhidaya and Prayojan. And in this series, we are reading a specific verse every day on a daily basis. And we are reading the translation from Bhagavad Gita as it is, translation and purport both. And at the same time, we are also reading the reflections from His Grace Chaitanya Das Prabhuji from his book called Gita for Daily Enrichment Series. So let's continue. Today, we are going to start with a new verse, that is the verse number 13.10 and 11. So this is the theme for today's verse is inner resonance leads to our outer coherence. Okay? So people who are from physics background, they might be knowing what is the resonance. You might have heard about it. So I would like to see your comments. How does it connect to spirituality? So you can write down in the comment section if you're watching from the YouTube or from the platform, the learning platform. If you're watching, you can also write down in the comment section. So now let's continue with reading from verse number 10 of chapter number 13. Let's go there. So the chapter number 13 refers. So chapter number 12, last time we have read, and that was a specific verse for devotional service. And chapter 13 is all about nature, the enjoyer, and consciousness, right? And in this, we will be going to the verse number 10 and 11, right? So 10 and 11, okay? So it is actually inside this particular text, 8 to 12 is a single one, okay? So we will read the entire translation. We will not be going to read the entire part, only we will be reading only the translation part of it today, right? So if you go to this particular text, you can also, if you're having the hard copy, you can also read it out of your own. That is this is a very long one. So I would recommend to read it from your own. This is an exercise for you. So let's read the translation first. So here we can see it starts from here actually. So specific to this verse number, whatever we are saying, but let's read the entire translation. It's not so big. Humility, pridelessness, non-violence, tolerance, simplicity, approaching a bona fide spiritual master, cleanliness, steadiness, self-control, renunciation of the objects of self-gratification, absence of false ego, the perception of the evil of birth, death, old age, and disease, detachment, freedom from entanglement with children, wife, home, and the rest, even-mindedness amid pleasant and unpleasant events, constant and unalloyed devotion to me, aspiring to live in a solitary place, detached from the general mass of people, accepting the importance of self-realization and philosophical search for the absolute truth. All this I declare to be knowledge, and besides this, whatever there may be is ignorance. So now let's move to the Kindle and we will read this particular reflections. Why do things keep going wrong? Life often vexes us thus due to its unpredictable upheavals. So let's know the meaning of vexes if you do not know. It is feel annoyed, frustrated. That's the meaning of worried, okay, of this meaning. Then upheavals, what does it mean? A violent or sudden change or disruption to the something, right? That's the meaning of upheaval. Gita wisdom suggests that we might be asking the wrong question. After having so much repeated and resounding experience of things going wrong, why are we so naive as to expect things to go right? If you do not know the meaning of a naive, so this is the meaning. So I think this is not coming here. English UK. It is only NAIVE is not there. So basically, the naive, if you want to read the meaning of it. Why you are so naive as to expect things to go right? So you can see the meaning of it if you do not know the naive meaning, right? So the meaning is without enough experience of life and too ready to believe or trust other people. Okay, so that's the meaning of innocent, you can say. That's the meaning here, literally. As to expect things to go right. We might protest, well, how can I not expect things to go right? Am I meant to just sit passively and watch glumly as things go on a disastrous downslide. So glumly meaning, so looking or feeling dejected, that's morose, that's the meaning of a glumly. As things go on disastrous downslide, Gita wisdom doesn't at all recommend passivity. The Gita was spoken to inspire its original student, Arjuna, to rise from passivity to activity. What Gita wisdom recommends is that we forego leveling situation as going right and going wrong, and instead focus on our responses so that we are doing right instead of doing wrong. Right? It's very a good, very nice sentence here. Instead of leveling, so forego means you can say past participle of foregone. So this is go without, refrain from. So basically, what Gita wisdom recommends is that we forego leveling. Instead of leveling, rather, we should focus on the responses to what we are doing right instead of doing wrong. Right? So that is what it is meaning here. Okay, so now let's move on to the next page. The Bhagavad Gita 13.10 to 11 indicates that we can suspend mental leveling of situation. Nityaṁ sama-cittatvam iṣṭāniṣṭopapattiṣu. When we fix ourselves in undistracted devotional remembrance of Krishna, mayi yogena bhaktir abhyacharini. By this prayerful connection, we experience an inner resonance with Krishna. What brings outer coherence to our reason? What does inner resonance with Krishna mean? It means the realization that Krishna is the supreme controller and the ultimate benefactor. So that is the meaning of the inner resonance. What does it mean? So here, so we have to remember this. When we are thus reassured that he is in charge and is acting for our benefit, we experience a strong spiritual solace that shelters us from the mind's default tendency to level situations. The absence of negative levels ensures that we are no longer paralyzed or agonized by level-triggered feelings of resentment. With our mental energy thus conserved, we can prayerfully seek Krishna's guidance and act constructively to solve the problem. So solace, people who do not know the meaning of solace, so you should know comfort or consolation in a time of great distress or sadness. Problems thus become opportunities when we realize deeply the certainty of Krishna's center and the infallibility of his guidance. So again, we will repeat that translation for specific particular this sections, chapter number 13, verse number 10 and 11. Even-mindedness amid pleasant and unpleasant events, constant and unalloyed devotion to me, all this I declare to be knowledge. And besides this, whatever there may be is ignorance. So we have read this particular section, reflection of this particular verse. So we will just mark it completed. So in the next session, we will continue with the same verse, but with a different theme. We will try to understand from there. So till now, so you can read the Bhagavad Gita, this chapter number 13 for that reason. So we can continue with the reading in this particular chapter number 13. So very nature, the enjoyer and consciousness, right? So now let's continue. In the next session, we will continue with the next theme called Let's Make Our Memory Our Treasury. Now we will stop here. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna.